Roadmap to Victory is sponsored by the R&R family of companies.
Welcome back to Nittany Game Week. We have a graduate level course for you this week in our Roadmap to Victory. Our very own Jay Paterno takes a walk across the lacrosse field with men's head coach Jeff Tambroni.
Yeah, from the intricacies of the face-off to the mindset of an ideal goalie, the two talk about it all to help turn you into a lacrosse pro.
There's certain things in this game that are really interesting. Let's start off, every possession starts with the face-off. How tough is it? How important is it to win the face-off consistently?
Yeah, you know, it's just one of those things in our game. It's like basketball way back in the day when they used to have a jump ball after every possession, and you know, it certainly pivots or changes the trajectory of a game based on possession. So if you have someone in here, and I would equate it to like you get a great wrestler in here that can just compete one-on-one. You know, you can start every possession with the ball in your offensive end. So he's got to be quick, he's got to be tough, he's got to be good off the ground. And then he has two guys on each side of him, the wing guys. So the key is after every goal or at the end of every or start of every possession, at the end of every quarter, you get two guys out here and you're just basically scrapping it up. So if you have a decent or an elite face-off guy in that realm, that's a huge advantage for your team.
So let's be optimistic you got the face-off. So now as we get the face-off, a lot of times the guy who gets a face-off is getting off the field. What insight do you want to give them about how that happens?
It's become so specialized in our sport that the face-off midi typically just wins the ball, moves the ball down to your offensive end, and then he gets off the field. Now we put our offensive specialists on the field. So there will be 3 attackmen who stay on the field the entire time in the offensive end, and then we bring an offensive midfield, 3 guys.
How hard is it to keep track of who's in, who's out?
Thank gosh that's
when
not
the
me.
thing's really going back and forth.
So you'll see a guy standing over in what we call the box area. That's Coach Myers, and he doesn't watch most of the game. Most of the game he's just counting 1 in and 1 out, either keeping them on sides or making sure we got 6 guys in the offensive end and 7 when we're down there in the defensive end. It is a pain in the butt. It is a job that is a thankless job, because the only time you really notice it is when you got too many guys on the field. They're off sides, but Coach Myers does a great job with it.
Kind of like being a bouncer at doggies when they're at capacity. 2 in, 2 out, 1 in, 1 out.
Great comparison, yeah.
Let's turn around and go to defense now. So you get in the goal. I think one of the things is hockey fans that watch this, they look at a great elite hockey goalie, and they'll look at 91% save rate, 93% save rate, and it's dramatically different in lacrosse. It's much tougher. Like, what kind of numbers do you look for, and what's important for a guy that's got to protect the pipes?
So there's so much that goes along with the goalie position. So I'd say 60% would be an amazing save percentage. Their instincts and courage have to be off the charts. So they have to be courageous enough to stand in to, you know, a 95 to 100 mile an hour shot of a rubber ball that absolutely stings if that thing hits you in just a pass, let alone a shot. And their instincts have to be off the charts. They have to be able to react to balls coming at, 5 yards, 10 yards, typically, inside of 15 yards. It is, I think it's one of the hardest positions in sports, and certainly you can make an argument for the amount of knowledge that a quarterback has to have. But in terms of the courage and the instincts that a goalie in lacrosse has to have, it is an insanely challenging position, by far the most important position on the field.
Okay, now you've made the save.
Thank gosh.
You got the ball. The ride and the clearing, it's very different. There's the 10-man ride, different types of rides. What do you see coming out of here, and how vital is it? How much time do you spend working on that?
Yeah, so, once the ball is changing hands from a team's offense to a defense, either a shot save or they've turned the ball over, our defensive middies are usually transferring the ball on the offensive end or transferring themselves off the field to get offensive personnel on the field who handle the ball a little bit better. They have short sticks, not long sticks, and they're used to carrying the ball. Same thing on the other side. If you're riding, you're typically trying to do the opposite, trying to get your defensive personnel on the field. So you're getting your offensive middies off on the sidelines to the substitution box, and then getting your 3 defensive middies on. So most teams probably are a little bit more conservative in that route. They just want to get personnel back in their offense and defensive end. And then the teams that play a little bit more aggressively are what you said, the 10-man, where they'll actually bring a goalie out of the goal. It's a little less common, but they'll dare teams to shoot the ball from 80 or 90 yards away and just match up man-to-man all over the field, which it's a fun part of the game for sure. It makes it real exciting, challenging to clear against, but definitely some risk in that that you leave the goal wide open and let people just see if they can shoot the ball from across the midline.
I heard you guys making a Jeter call. Okay, is that Yankee related?
Everything.
You don't have to give away what it is.
My answer is yes, 100%. So everything we do goes after my favorite athletes. So we have a Bird call, we have a Jeter call, we have a Jordan call, and every formation that follows their number. So we try to keep it real and memorable for guys. And the Yankees are definitely a part of our play rotation for sure.
And I'd be lying to you to say I didn't learn a thing or two from Coach Paterno and Coach Tambroni. My favorite, though, knowing what it takes to be a goalie and have the cojones to stand in that net. Amazes me every single time I see it.
Courageous, yes, I believe Coach used that word. That is an understatement. Men's Lax knocked off a couple of ranked opponents recently. They appear to be playing their best as they reach the postseason.